Hello, Cinecine here. It's a nice day and it's not too hot. The heat wave's over. So, I'm going to be taking a walk to a park in Garden City. Well, I live in Garden City, so it's a short walk to a park. It's also in Garden City, right by Roosevelt Field Mall. So far things have been pretty nice in my life. I have 2 events coming up. One in Pine Lawn, right near the Pine Barrens, right near where I go to grad school, but on the other side of the tracks. I also have an event where I'm going to Bethpage to meet up for a walk. I'm not going to tell you where, because that would trigger you-know-who. Andy Keto would try and find me. But yeah, Bethpage. Can't tell you too much detail, can't tell you when, because if Andy Keto would chase me. Anyway, on the downside, unfortunately, Pine Paralyzed has been having the worst time of his life. Well, I have the best time of my life. And it's just sad. Andy Pollock made a post about how things are chaotic in his life. Not the type of chaotic I often think of, like nonlinear dynamics and chaos in math. But the real world meaning of chaos. And then, of course, another part of my life that's been going well is, despite professor at my college leaving and going to a new job, there's going to be a lot of new professors at my school. And that's going to be very nice. This professor taught the humanities, and I'm sad to say goodbye to her. She's leaving. It's a good thing the science teacher didn't leave, because he's really nice. But then, along with these new staff members that come in, new mentors, new humanities teachers that are going to come in the fall, and then sign up starting 5 days for fall courses. I'm excited for that, because at my school you can't tell what courses are going to be offered every semester. You can never tell because of how infrequent they offer their courses, which is a downside, but it's always an upside to get excited for the course offerings. Anyway, then there's this new friend I have. It's a girl. And right now we're friends, and she's like my only friend who's a girl. And I'm not talking about my girlfriend from New Hyde Park. I'm talking about this one who's much further north, in Ronkonkoma. Is that a rabbit? Rabbit! It's a rabbit! Another thing about recent times is something that does provide joy in both me and Pine Paralyzed, is the fact that there are a lot of rabbits around. The rabbit population has been increasing in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and maybe Connecticut, I'm not sure. But it's such a cool thing to see these rabbits showing up everywhere. Rabbit is my second favorite animal, after cat. But of course, in Queens Village, you'll find a lot of cats, stray cats on the road. Same thing with Elmont. Same thing with... And I'm spelling those all with lowercase letters because I'm not talking about the real ones. I'm talking about, like, Westchester. Anyway... Yeah, Mount Vernon sees a lot of stray cats on the road. They always cross the street in Mount Vernon. the stray cats. I like seeing them. And I know the geographical equivalent of the Bronx to Westchester border and the Queens to Nassau border don't line up. Evan Gold Transit probably figured that out by now. Maybe he did. I just hope things are going well with him too. He's a YouTuber, a Pine Power Ally colleague who claims to be a friend of mine, whereas I just want Pine Power Ally to be a friend of mine and this to be, but I don't know if we really are. So yeah, Evan Gold Transit. So this has been a wonderful summer, a wonderful year, and recently I took a trip to the Edgewood Pine Barrens, the more desirable part of it, not the part that's near the Deer Park train station, but the part that's further north. And I'm not talking about Mount Kisco, I'm talking about the real Deer Park. However, I'm still in a situation that Pine Power Ally is not in, and that is like terrible transportation here in Eastchester. Where, here's the thing, in my apartment I put up a map of my rail transportation system that extends from Yonkers to Pleasantville. And I'll show you a video later of it. It's on a huge wall of mine at the apartment. But transportation in Eastchester just sucks. In Westchester in general just sucks. Nassau it also does, but at least they have frequent buses. They may not all show up, and they may be unreliable, but at least they have runs that we don't have here in Westchester. Like, I'm unable to get myself to the ShopRite right by the Yonkers-Greenburgh border because the 66 basically doesn't run at all. The 66 is a vital route just like the N40 and N41. It's comparable, it's the equivalent of the N40 and 41, but it almost doesn't run. It doesn't run on weekends or holidays. It doesn't run that often on weekdays. Only has like 7 to 10 runs a day on weekdays only. Only runs every hour when it's a vital crosstown route. That's what's up about Westchester and why I'm going to provide better transportation. That's why MTA needs to come back to Long Island and to Westchester too, not just Long Island. Why does my hair do this? But then there's the Beeline number 8 bus, which should run all the way to Eastchester Square, but doesn't. Like cutting off people near Eastchester Square from service to Yonkers means that they need to walk all the way down to Depot Square from White Plains Post Road. Especially if they're like transferring from the 45 to the 8. It's impossible. But why am I complaining about all these terrible things with transportation when I'm going to fix them? The deal is, Westchester's treated like we're in the middle of nowhere when it comes to buses. Trains, however, run often enough. While Riders Lines whines about nothing. Because they complain about transportation in New York City, which is amazing. The transportation in New York City is amazing. They get like 20 trains per hour on each subway line, and yet they still complain. And on top of that, they get very frequent bus service. While we're stuck waiting for an hour or more for a Beeline bus, or stuck with no bus service in Nassau County, basically. And they think that we have it good. That's why I don't like Riders Alliance and prefer Passengers United. Because Passengers United talks about real issues. Because this 59th Street Columbus Circle junction, it is nothing compared to the lack of service you get in Eastchester and Westchester County. Because you actually have service on the 1, the A, B, C, and D, and several bus routes. Whereas here we have only the 45, the 40, and then take a long walk to get to the 8, and that's it. No, and then the Harlem line, but that's it. That is it. Which is not enough to satisfy the need for transportation for the disabled. And I know that Eastchester usually isn't filled with disabled adults. I just got lucky to get into an apartment that is paid for by an agency in an enclave. But we just need better transportation.